Are there any managers out there you think should deserve it more than the manager that wins the Premier League title? What's your view on that? I mean, surely if you win the Premier League title, you should be manager of the season.
You probably should do, but I think because Pep's won it, well, that means he's won it 4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And you look at the squad of players that he's got, I think a lot of people were like, well, okay, does that outweigh the job someone like Unai Emery, Eddie Howe's done at Newcastle? Do you know what I mean? So it is one of them. If Arteta wins it, yeah, he deserves to win the Premier League. So I can understand there are objectives and there are obviously levels to winning Manager of the Year. As you said there, if Brighton was to finish inside the top 6, you'd go, oh, De Zerbi's got to be in there for Player of the Year, 100%.
Yeah.
So I can understand it. Maybe it is a little bit easy to just give it to Pep because they've won the league. But at the end of the day, he's been there good enough. Everyone else is trying to set their standards and raise their levels to finish above Pep. So if he wins it again and then he wins Manager of the Month, Manager of the Year, then that's the way it's got to be.
Everyone says it's only about what happens in the Premier League, right? But last year, Jurgen Klopp won it and they finished second.
Yeah.
And Man City won the Premier League, but they did win the League Cup and the FA Cup. So do you think it does? Other events around the Premier League do come into it or not?
Well, it must do, because as you said there, Jurgen Klopp won it last year because they played the maximum amount of games, the Champions League final, FA Cup final, League Cup final, finished second in the Premier League. So I can understand that must come into it, because you're right, if it comes down to coming second, then you shouldn't win it really, should you, if Pep come first? But yeah, I think it can't just be based on league form. It's got to be based on everything. I know they may say no, the parameters is Premier League, but you can't make a case for Jurgen Klopp. So
you mentioned Eddie Howe, Newcastle, right? Your manager, Mikel Arteta.
Listen, even if he finishes second, he'll be in the discussion. But I mean, if he wins the league, he wins Manager of the Year. That's a fact,
without a doubt.
But yeah, he's in the discussion, 100%. He has to be. They've been top all season. Okay.
Gary O'Neill, the job he's done now. He took over at Bournemouth. I think they'd just been tonked, was it 9-0 against Liverpool? And a lot of people were suggesting they're going to go down, understandably. He came in, he was manager for quite a few weeks, wasn't given the job straight away. Now I'm looking at the league table, they're 14th, they're on 36 points. Leicester, who are in the bottom 3, are on 29, so there's a 7-point gap between them and the relegation drop zone. He has done a remarkable job at Bournemouth, hasn't he?
Phenomenal. And that's what I say about levels, because you look at it and you're looking at where Bournemouth are and you're going, well, how can the Bournemouth manager be in for Manager of the Year? Look where Bournemouth are, they're 14th. But you got to put it into context. As you said there, the budget that he's working with, where they were when he got the job, and what he's done there to keep him up. Yeah, he's in the discussion for sure.
Unai Emery at Aston Villa.
Oh, wow, what a job he's done. Look at Aston Villa, absolutely flying. At one stage, when he came in and they beat United the first game, I went, oh, okay, this is what it's all about. And they've been on a magical run, as you said there. They're right up there in the table, 6th position, level on points with Spurs. Could get into that 5th spot if they get into Europe. Him and Unai Emery and Villa, he's in the shout for definite. Okay. I'm not saying he should definitely win it, but he's in there.
De Zerbi, Brighton, job he's done there. When he came in, everyone was going, "Oh, Potter, what's happened to Graham Potter?"
Again, I put him in that same Unai Emery category where, yeah, if they can get into Europe, then De Zerbi deserves to be in the conversation, but I think because of Unai Emery where he is, I think I'd pick him above De Zerbi.
Okay. If Man United get top 4 and they win the FA Cup, so effectively they've done what Liverpool did last year, top 4.
Then Erik ten Hag deserves to be in the shout as well.
Yeah.
2 cups, finishing inside the top 4. That's a remarkable first season as well. Man United fans would be delighted with that.
Yeah, okay.
As much as it pains
if Man City win the league, in your opinion, who should be manager of the season?
Well, I guess if they win it, it's him.